Hi guys, how are you? Oh, I don't know what I'm going to say. Early morning, 8 o'clock, I went to pick up the young fella. I was driving out towards Killeen there. Now, if I had been going fast, I would have been crashed into the back of the lorry. But what they had was, there's a wee house on the left-hand side when you go round. It's a real sharp bend. Wee house on the corner end, and then there was a van. They had a van parked on the left-hand side. Sort of half in and half out. But then there was a lorry stop there, and of course it had the big bar across the bottom of it, so you couldn't, if a car did run up its arse, you'd head off the bar. You wouldn't run underneath the lorry and fucking decapitate yourself, you know. But if I had been going fast there this morning, I would have crashed into the back of the lorry over the negligence of them pair of fuckers out there this morning. My car would have been wrecked. I was left walking, and then they're away smiling. Then you get the Jeeps, the big Jeeps, the big Mercedes Jeeps, making the lunge out at you. And then in Super Value in Monaghan, not long after coming from there, was the directed conversation. I went up to the toilet. I was standing in one of the cubicles, and there was a load of water spilt on the ground. So I said, that's okay, it wasn't pee, it was water. Right. Just when I was washing my hands, I put the dryer on for a second or something. No, before I came out of the cubicle, the door opened. And then I went out, washed my hands and put the dryer on for a second and went out. And it was the cleaning one that cleans the toilet, because I seen her there a couple of weeks ago or whatever, right? I went downstairs, lifted a basket out of the thing, went into Super Value. I walked round the vegetable shop, picked up a couple of bits of vegetables. Of course, then was walking out, and then the manager, or I'm presuming it was the manager, something, they were well dressed. I don't think they were he was walking. I'm not sure whether he was the manager or what he was but he was taking well up. But one of the ones that walks behind the counter come running up and says to the two boys, just the two men I'm looking for. Grand. She said, such and such is after coming down and telling me that someone has pissed all over the cubicle in the toilets. It wasn't piss, it was water. Now, when I went in, there was two fellas in there before me. After that, nobody came in. I was the only one in. But as I was leaving the toilets, the cleaner, I think I said that, the cleaner come in or whatever. Right, I went downstairs. The one that walked behind the counter said, she says, someone's after pissing all over the cubicles over in the toilets. All right, says, are you sure it's piss? He said, the manager. And she said, yeah, well, I think it is, or whatever. Or she said it was. It wasn't, it was water. But I didn't spill any water, and I didn't piss around any toilets, okay? This is what you call directed conversation. Now, got me a few bits, walked out through the doors, up to the right. There was two men standing on the footpath. I seen them. Typical setup. Setup Friday, we call this. So, standing on the footpath, and one fella had his hand on a hole in the pram, child in the pram. Well, I presume it was, I didn't look into it. But there was I couldn't hear any conversation coming up to them. But when I was about 3 or 4 yards from them, all I could hear was, oh yeah, very sore. But we're battling through this. My muscles be tensed up with with the anxiety and that, right, stretching them out. Now my legs are a bit sore today. That's more directed conversation. Two men and a child were battling through this. Though I couldn't hear anything before that, the way I'm conversation. How many times can anybody tell me or text me or message me or email or leave a comment saying, did they hear anybody in their lives before or were battling through this? Because I'm 60 years on 60 years on this earth, and I never heard it before in my life. And I never came across the likes of that set up out of Killeen there this morning either. Nor the toilets, nor your man with the dog, waving in at the back of the car, waving at the dog he was laying in the back window of the car, waving in at the dog. The only reason that he was waving in at the dog was that he knows the dog will chirp. It's the same, and if you approach a car with a dog and he's going to start automatically barking at you, which she will do anyway, right? But this is all the tactics to have to stress you out or put more stress on you or bug your day, Typical dark glasses, black gloves, this owl by about 80 years of age or whatever, Where do I tell you? Someone was telling you should be in a mental home, you should be. No, the people out there doing this shit should be in the mental hospital, not me. Them. They're the ones that's doing the setups, directed conversation, the swerving, the beeping, the vehicle harassment, directed conversation, lies, the whole lot. This here is perfect. They're the ones that should be locked up. But you see what the thing is? They have no other choice but to do this. They have no other choice. They have to go out and do that. Plain and simple. Because they're doing what they're told. They're sheep. They have no brains of their own. Can anybody else tell me how many houses did they see in the day? Or funerals or whatever it is? No? Yeah? It's all the fuck with your mind. It's all mental. It's all a mental fuck with your mind. That's what it is. Fuck with his mind. Mental fucking stress. Mental. Doubt yourself. Did I or did I not? What? Who? Huh? This shit. You know what I'm saying? But this is everyday occurrence with me. How in the name of God could you make up the likes of these stories that's going on and happening out there? You couldn't. You couldn't make it up. And then there's a lad there from Clones. Every time I go to Monaghan, I see him. If I go to Clones, I see him. If I go to Monaghan, I see him. It's the same boy. He lives in Clones. The minute I go into Clones, I see him. I don't be in Clones every day, but anytime I do be in, I see him. The exact same in Monaghan as well. If I'm in Monaghan, I see him as well. The exact same fella. How many times a day or a week do you see the same person? Well, maybe your next door neighbour and shit like that there. But I'm living about 10 miles from Clones. But this is all this is all the fuck with your head and, mental stress or mental, I don't know what you call it, but as far as I can see, they have no other reason but that they just have to do these things and that's it. It's as simple as that. But a battle, yeah, we'll battle through this. You wouldn't know what a fucking battle was, you poncy fucking get you. Sorry for the swearing, guys, but you hear the likes of these clowns battling through it. Battling through what? You didn't battle through nothing in your life. You'd fall at the first fucking hurdle. You am it on you, But But that's all just what the noise harassment's for, to keep you stressed out, to keep your cortisol levels up, to fuck you up, the cortisol levels up, sugar levels up, insulin fucking up, the whole lot. And then after a while, you develop then, what happens at the start of this here, when this program starts within the first year or two, well, either you won't eat or you will eat. An awful lot of people does, an awful lot of people doesn't, right? But what happens to you is when you're deprived of sleep deprivation and all the rest, of going through all the stress and that, all you crave is chocolate and stuff like that there. So all you do is eat fucking chocolate, and then this fucks you up, or you overeat to try and soothe yourself when you're stressed out, and this all adds to bad health problems as well. But it's all setups, lays, mirrors, smoke screen, the whole lot. It's all, to have it all down through the lane. And why there's so many people at it is because they have no fucking brains of their own. They have no brains of their own. Then someone was saying that this is a type of conditioning to, I don't know. I wasn't approached to take part in any gang stalking or stalking any people or harassing any person out there or anything like that there. I was never involved in it or asked to do it like that there. But do they break you down enough and then approach it when you're on your last legs? Or that you do commit a crime, or you burn someplace down to the ground, or you kill someone, or you blow up someone, or your head goes, or you have a mental breakdown. This is all they want you to do. This is what they want you to do. Either a mental breakdown, kill someone, people walking out in front of me in Monaghan there this morning, vans pulling out in front of me, cars pulling out in front of me. I never seen it before in my life. Never. But this is what happens to you when you're a target individual. This is what happens. But they're nothing but, I'll tell you what, they're seeing on people in the mental hospital. There's people in the mental hospital shouldn't be in it at all. When you see the likes of what's going on out there. Cover-ups, set-ups, lays, corruption, the whole lot. It's... And where do I tell you, there's an awful lot of big fancy houses down in Monaghan, and there's not much in Monaghan. An awful lot of big fancy houses down here, and fancy cars and jeeps. Let me tell you that. For a place that has nothing, there's nothing in it. So what is in it? What farming have you, like? A bit of cows or whatever, small bit of cows. They can't grow any wheat or barley or anything like that down here. It's only small farmers you have down here, mushrooms and a few chicken houses and stuff like that there. How do you become wealthy out of that? Unless you have another income, because you won't get wealthy out of doing that, But yeah, they've big fancy houses and big fancy fucking Mercedes Jeeps and BMW Jeeps and Audi Jeeps and Jeeps and cars, You don't get that from walking down the middle of the road or walking a straight line, Sorry guys, another rant, but thanks for listening. The day's not over yet, so I'll go back out later on, so we'll see what happens later on. But it's just a complete disaster. Well, they're a disaster, actually. If anybody can prove me wrong, come ahead and prove me wrong. But I think I said it in a couple of videos before that, prove me wrong, But see, it wouldn't take them too much to lock you up in the mental hospital later on. It wouldn't take much now for them to come out and lock you up, or put you into a mental home, or or do whatever. Get rid of you in the morning if they wanted it. It's as simple as that. Sorry for being so negative, right? But on a positive note, the sun was shining and Smokey was alright, the young fella was alright, and I'm grand. And as long as everybody else is out there that's doing what they're supposed to be doing and not involved in stalking, organised stalking harassment. But that'll be good, you know. But at the end of the day, it's keep on fighting, guys. Keep on fighting. Don't let them win. Don't let them win. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.